Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game. Hello, everyone. I am coming to you today from a place I feel firmly in the middle of the past and the future. It's the start of a new year, and we've just wrapped up the annual goal settings for my company. And this is going to be the final year in our current 3-year plan. I feel like we have a solid plan for success over the next 12 months. But what my team doesn't know is that there are actually some much bigger things on the horizon that only I can see in the moment. So my heart's in a little bit of a state of conflict as I see my organization in a place of relative peace, but I can see what's coming. And it's not quite time to sound the alarm. So what's a leader supposed to do? Sometimes you're going to have this burden of prescience. It can serve to inform you, your decision-making in the present, but it has the potential to paralyze you from moving the rest of the organization forward while you wait on the future to arrive. The leader often does have the privilege of seeing further ahead, but along with that is the responsibility to balance that knowledge against the present needs of the organization. I've been a dad for nearly 20 years, and I would say this chapter of my life called fatherhood has been filled with moments of joy and pride and reflection. But even as my children were young, I knew many of the realities they were bound to face along their own journey. I've been there. I know that their journey was going to end one day. There's a burden associated with that knowledge, and it informed my decision-making about how I was going to raise my kids. Now, even still, it didn't make sense to remind my 4-year-old every day that their heart's going to get broken one day or that they're going to die someday somehow. That information is not going to serve them well on a daily basis and would likely keep them from pursuing opportunities and having a chance to experience success in life. But in spite of that prescient knowledge, I continued to prepare my children for the inevitabilities of life without trivializing the present or downplaying the importance of giving everything you have to the pursuit of a vision. Sometimes the knowledge of what is ahead can be a scary burden to bear alone, especially if the coming storm is something you've never encountered before. How can you lead people through something when you haven't been through it yourself? How can the leader pass through this burden of prescience? I think the first critical step is keeping a steady hand on what you can control in the present. The funny thing about the future is sometimes you might think you know what's coming, but the real outcome could be very different. Most of the things that you think could happen actually don't. And a leader who's constantly sounding the alarm for a worst-case scenario will lose trust of the organization. Until the certainty of the moment is on you, the best course of action is just a steady pace towards a vision. I think a second important step is not letting momentum slip while you try to predict the future. I think we've all been a victim of inaction or maybe poor planning because it's an election year or a recession is coming. You can really end up on the losing end of some potential growth cycles, waiting for an outcome to be finalized before you make any critical decisions. And by the time you sound the alarm, the storm has already destroyed your opportunity to make progress towards the vision, and everyone's wondering why you didn't do a better job to prepare your organization. So take 5 minutes and consider, am I letting the prospects of the future affect my leadership in the present? How can I deal with the knowledge of what is ahead and effectively prepare and lead my organization forward? I think for the most part, we should all be relieved we don't know too much about our future. But out in front of the organization, you will inevitably be privileged with the knowledge of what is ahead and burdened with the task of knowing how to lead well in the face of coming change. So today, resolve to lead with a steady hand and avoid the stagnation of inaction as you navigate the coming storms of change. It's time to now go lead. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.